All right, we're working. All right, so we have here our assignment. So if you guys have read through the assignment or looked at it, or maybe have tried it before in a different stack, like the mean stack, I think there's a similar assignment. What we're doing basically is we have users, that's one table, and then we have products as another table. Users can have many products, right? They can purchase many products, and products can be purchased by many users, right? So in that case, that's a many to many. So we need a third joining table, right? Which is in this case orders, because that's a good way to kind of describe the many to many relationship between users and products, right? It's by orders, right? Cool. So you'll see that for customers, it's pretty easy to create. Literally all I need is to type in their name. Yeah. Just Michael Choi, enter, or Trey Villafani, enter, right? That's all I need. For products, again, it's a very simple creation of products. All I need are a few fields. I need a name, I need an image URL, a description, and an initial quantity amount, and then I just create the product, right? Those two portions, creating users and creating products, I've already done because you guys can create objects perfectly fine at this point. All you have to do is run your validations if you need validations, but other than that, you're just saving it to your database, right? So if we take a look at maybe our users controller, here is our create user. Don't need these print statements. So from my form, I get a string called name. I create a new user, type user. Name, I set its name, created at datetime now, updated at datetime.now. Add the new user, save the changes, redirect to index. Super easy, right? Any questions about what's happening in this method, my create user method? Pretty straightforward. Cool. So having said that, we can, did I close my server? I did. .NET run. Once I refresh my page, and it reloads, cool. If I go to customers, I have one that I've created. Cool. And then let's add Michael Choi. He just gets created. Pretty simple and straightforward, right? Is that me? Just creating users, right? Cool. Same exact thing for products. All I need to do is create a product. What product should we create?
Jogging shorts.
Jogging shorts. Cool. Very short men's jogging shorts. I'm gonna have 40 of them, and I'm gonna go. I hope I don't come across anything gross. Men's jogging shorts. Gonna go to images. Okay, what looks good? This one looks great.
Looks like a sensible product.
Open image in new tab. Great. Then I'm gonna take this URL, paste it into my image URL. Cool, and I'm going to create. So, you guys want to see what's happening there?
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. Cool. Let's go to my products controller. On creating my product, again, I'm just console.logging these things to make sure that I get them back. I'm not running any validations, as you can see. But basically, I get all of these fields back from my form, and I set them to the correct column name, as you should normally do. Add the new product, save changes, and then redirect to index. Question?
So remind me really quick how, when we pass all of the post data, we send it to this function, how it knows that the name is the, never mind, I just remembered.
Okay. Yeah. For the video, maybe then it just gets packaged with the request object, and then you can just inject it, or not inject, but pass it directly through this method function. and then
if I
you'll have it
remember correctly, they're labeled, right?
with
Our
their
input,
names.
Our input field has name on it.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So that's what we're passing through. And again, literally, we're just stitching them with the correct model field that we have. If we go to our product model, you'll see that they match up the same way. Cool. And then we add save changes, right? Awesome. So I'm going to close that. And cool. Let's create a couple more then. Hat. Cool hat. Gonna create 47 cool hats. Cool hat images. Cool. What an awesome hat. Oh my gosh. Open image. What is... Oh, okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Create. Great. New hat. And I'm going to... Sparrow's password? Which is what?
According to Joe, what?
It's capital C?
No,
Yeah.
sir.
And now it's recorded.
It's password field, my man.
I know. Cool. All right, I think we can make do with these. So we have customers, we have products, independent from each other, right? Customers is a different table, products is a different table. These two are not interacting in any way. But for my orders, I haven't built out any of this yet, and that's what we're going to do over the next hour. Cool. So we're going to take users, we're going to have customers, and we're going to create orders based on their IDs, right? Cool. Any questions thus far? No? Cool. So let's take a look at the wireframe and get an idea of what we want this page to look like. So add a new order. We're going to have a customer select dropdown, an order dropdown. It's going to be the quantity and the actual product name, right? Cool. So this is my orders controller. This is my index.cshtml for my orders. And here, I think I'll need a form. And label customer for cast. Then here we'll have a select menu name customer. Okay. Here we'll have. Cool. Yeah, I think I might change that to ID, but here let's we'll have a for loop in here for options, right? Cool. Let's see what we have so far. Cool. Customer with nothing there. Let's get all of our users and then put them in the view bag so that we can cycle through them in the selects. Cool. How do I do that?
Create an object.
I'm in my controller.
So
I have my context. So all of this has been set up for us so far.
So we should set view bag.
View bag dot all users equals. How do I interact with my database?
Underscore
Through my context object,
Yes.
right? Context.
Can you remind me why we have that underscore?
Underscore is just kind of programming kind of best practice to indicate. This is just a variable name. That's literally all it is. This could be whatever you want. But underscore just indicates that it's a private variable. That's what underscores mean. So if you see variables or functions with the underscore on them, then you can probably assume, you might want to look at the source code, but you can assume that it's a private method. As you can see up here, it's a private object, or a variable that holds an object. Cool. So context dot, what are we getting? Users? Just all of them. Yep. Super simple, right? So in this line of code, we've reached into our database, gotten all of our users, and put them in a view bag called all users, right? Cool. So now this should be available to us on the front end. So on my index, I will for each var user in all users. Did I name it that? All users. I am going to create an option. Oh, come on, that's not right. Option with at user dot first, or I think it's just dot name. Let's see if this works. I think my user objects just have names, not first name, last name. Cool. So I'm gonna restart my server. Let's go back, refresh the page. All users does not exist in the current context. Viewbag.allUsers. Perfect. So now I have a drop down with all my users, right? Again, nothing super crazy that we did here. Literally all we did was just grab all users and loop through them, right? Cool. What else do we need? Orders, and then the product names. Cool.
All three are
So when we
selects.
select them, will we get the name or we will get the ID of that name?
The option is the name, correct?
So the name is what's going to be the key that we're able to grab the value from. The value we haven't set yet, but I probably want that to be user ID, right? User dot user ID. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the order. Oops. Oh my gosh. And this will also be a select menu. I'm just going to steal something from my products. Index.html, which is this. It's literally just a select menu with 50 on them. Yeah.
Oh, you remove that select unselect thing
Oh.
on the above.
Oh, this?
There is a select statement on the.
Oh,
So
the
you
closing
close it.
select?
Yes, close it.
Oops. Thank you for that. Select. This select needs to go. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, here we go. So this select is for my customers, right? And then this giant select here is for my order. Cool. I'm going to break here. Cool. So 1 through 50. Great. And I also need one more select, right? A break here. I want them to be right next to each other. This one is going to be for all of my products, right? So again, I'm going to go into my orders controller. I'm going to do something very similar to this. So in my viewbag.allProducts, I'm going to grab all my products. Cool? And in my index.csthtml for my orders, I'm going to copy this, throw it in there. Option for each all products. Product ID and products. Do they have names? They have a name. Okay, great. Cool. Any questions so far? Yes.
Remind me how we're getting the 50 select options for the middle select.
So let's.
For order.
Sure. Okay, so we have these. So you're wondering how I'm getting 50?
Yes, sir.
It's literally just
Hard-coded.
50.
Oh, you scrunched it up.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
you.
Or you can do it for loop, right?
You could do some JavaScript, or
Razor.
could you do
Razor.
it? Could you do it with
For loop.
Razor? Yeah, you could do it with Razor, I guess. Yeah, cool.
So we could probably do a razor for loop with the conditional being specified product dot quantity.
Quantity, yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. What should we name this? This is gonna be customer ID because that's what we're getting. This is gonna be product ID. Cool. Are we good? And then we'll have an input type submit value order. Great. All right. So should we create our order?
Yes, let's do it.
Let me see. Input, submit, order. The form action. What should the action be?
Create order.
Create order. Great. Order is controller. Let's create. This will be post. Create order. Create order. Create. Cool. Is everything right? Create order.
Is the form action going to the route or the name of the function?
It'll go to the route.
Okay.
And then when it hits that route, it'll run the appropriate function. Yeah. When we redirect to action, we want to pass the function name. But we can also redirect to route. That's also a method that you have. Yeah. But anyways, create order. We're passing through what things? String of
Customer ID.
Would that be an int?
Or just pass the.
Int of product ID,
Yeah.
and then int
We
quantity.
cannot pass to use the model to do it.
We could, but I think from there are
Other stuff.
yes, there's other stuff in here.
So that
Yeah,
you can have one more model, one more class in there, and just
for
specify
validations.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure you could. Yeah.
You don't have to pass each variable.
Yeah, but in this case, it's literally just three things. Yeah. And how about we print these out real quick just to see what we get. Product ID. Cool. Return redirects to action index. Cool. So we're clear on what's happening so far? We're just literally going to submit the form, which is going to hit this route, which is going to run this function where we've passed in those three form fields, and we're just going to print each of those out and then redirect back to our index page. Cool. .NET Run. Cool. And good. So cool. I'm gonna buy 5 jogging shorts. And great. So it seems that my username was 1, the customer ID, and the product's ID was 3, and I wanted 5 jogging shorts. Cool. So now we can proceed to actually save these objects, right? Cool. Or save it into an object. What object do we want? Order. What should we call it? New order is going to equal a new order. Cool. And what am I saving?
Ooh, shall we?
Take a look at the model.
Well,
Yes,
do we
please.
need to fetch the user object and the? Oh no.
No, we do that when we query, not when we save. Because when we save, what are we saving into
Just the foreign key.
just the key, which is literally just an integer, right? Cool. So good thought though. So we have a quantity t equals quantity. What else?
You are storing user ID.
Product ID and customer ID.
This is my product.
Some ID.
User ID and product ID, right?
Yes.
Cool. User ID equals customer's ID and product's ID equals, did I call it product ID?
Yes.
Okay, products. Nope, ID. And that's all I need to create my new order.
Yes.
Cool. Any questions so far? Context
So
dot
you don't need
add
to save
dot
amount or anything. Oh, okay.
new order. Add new order. Context dot save changes. Cool.
Is it possible to save changes after add?
I don't know. No. Good question though. Yeah. Cool. Before we do this, I liked Saman's idea of writing a loop on my front end to have my select dropdown for the quantity only exceed to the point that the quantity is left in the object. I didn't do that, and I could go back and do that, but I think this is a good opportunity to maybe do some controller validating. So let's just do that in the controller for now. So I'm gonna need to check if the quantity requested by the user or by the order form does not exceed what I have left in my storage for my order, right? How do I do that?
Check the product quantity. Then you can
So I have to first get my
product.
product then, right?
Yeah.
Cool. How do I get my product?
Context dot product.
Context dot products dot
Where?
single or defaults.
Count.
I want to get that actual product object. So my product equals this, right? Singular default, and what's the lambda that I want to pass in so that I get the correct product?
P arrow P dot product ID equals product ID.
Did everyone follow what Saman just said right there? Because this is like the foundation of how you use Entity Framework. Just these very simple lambdas. It looks really simple, right? It's like, what, 20 characters max? But there's a lot happening here. If you are unsure, then ask away. But
Similar as like
yeah,
Okay, so
I guess it's a
P
link. Yeah.
in this refers to a new variable that we're calling P.
Absolutely. P can be anything, but what it represents is each product. So what this .singular default method is doing, this link method is doing, is it's looping through every product in my products table and representing each of those objects that we loop through as P.
Okay.
And when this condition is met, if this returns true, then that's what we return, that single object. Cool. So hopefully this will bring back to my product, and we need to ask if quantity, if the requested quantity in the form, right, is greater than my product dot quantity, then we know basically you're asking for too many, right? Else we can do all of this, right? Does that make sense? Cool. So instead of, you can get rid of this for now. Oh. Cool. So instead of just console.writeLining, you're asking for too many. what can we do at this point?
Can we return a
Error message.
what he said?
Return an error message. Cool. So since we're redirecting, we're going to need to put this. We're going to need this to be persistent across the redirect. So how about we use a session? Session dot set string. This is going to be the name. We'll call it quantity error. And here, what should our message be? 2 not enough.
In stock.
Yeah, out of stock, or not. Yeah, not enough in stock. Please check.
Or we can say
Yeah,
how
that's
much we have.
Sure, we could. Not enough in stock. There are only what?
Only, and then we can take product from the context.
Something left.
My product dot.
So my product dot
Count.
quantity. Cool. Am I doing that right? Nope, that's the wrong place to put it.
Quantity or count?
Sorry?
Is it quantity or count?
Quantity. I think the field is called quantity in my product. Yeah, here it's called quantity. Cool. So now I stored that in my session, right?
I have a question.
Yep.
I was confused with get string and set string.
What they do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sessions in C# are not as friendly as you might have. They might have been in other languages, or maybe you'll come across in other languages. But it's still super simple. Literally, all you're doing is you're saying, okay, I'm going to create this session, and I'm going to set something inside of it, and then I have to, when I want to use it or retrieve it, I have to use the get string or the get it32. Does that make sense? So it's literally just a getter and setter, like you do for any other variable, except with all other variables, we can kind of do this get set directly in the class. So you don't have to ask it get this or set this. You could just do it back and forth because you've kind of set it in its default nature. With session, you have to be much more explicit about it every single time you're interacting with it.
So it's what is the set and get? What is when you're passing from the backend to the front using set? Or if you're grabbing something, you're
Simon, do you?
So they kind of gave us this concept when we were doing jQuery of setters and getters, and there was ways of overloading functions where if you used a certain number of parameters, it would pull the variable that already exists. So a getter would be, I want to know what exists in this variable, and a setter is saying, I would like to write to this variable this value. So the set string, because it's a setter, we pass it the field at which we're going to write, and then what to write in that field. And then a getter just has one parameter because we're going to get the value that exists in that little pocket of session.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks.
Cool.
Yep. So you can only set and get values in sessions. There's no change string, right? You can't manipulate it directly. So if I have http context.session.set int32 my number and I set it to 42. If I want to change what's in that session variable, then I first have to get it, change it, and then reset it. So it's kind of this whole three-step process in order to manipulate your session variables. So you'll run across that. In this case, literally all we're doing is we're saying, hey, set the string. I'm giving it this name, quantity error, and put this value into it.
But you can overwrite, right? You can change that whenever you want to change that quantity error. So in the bottom of the function, if you decide, oh, you want to update that, you can say set string and then you change it, whatever.
Just the name to
it is.
something different.
Yeah.
You could do that, but in that case, you might be
No, not something different. You just
Yeah.
say quantity error and replace it with whatever value that you want to put in.
I think the situation that Donovan was planning for is where we don't necessarily know what's in quantity already, but we
Yeah.
know we'd like to add 4
Yeah.
or remove 7.
So if your session is 4 and you want to increment it, you first have to pull that 4 out, add 1 to it, and then reset it. You can't just set it to 5 because you don't know what's currently being stored in session, right? It's kind of you have to be mindful of the relationship kind of thing. Anyways, spending too much time on session. We'll get more into it as we code out the rest of this. So we just set string quantity error equal to this, right? Cool. And then we can and then we will skip this else and then return redirect index, right? So here we need to say if http context dot session dot get string quantity error. If the result of this is null, that means we know we haven't set anything to our quantity error yet. Then set viewBag dot error equal to nothing. Else set viewBag dot error equal to what's actually stored in it. Cool. And every time we hit this method, we're just going to clear it every time. Cool. So we have validations for our quantity errors now. If we're asking for too much, then it'll give us a message that shows that there's only X amount left in stock and we need to try again. Otherwise, if everything's good and clear, then we'll create our order and we will redirect. And I will print here added new order. Cool. Everybody good so far? .NET run. Cool. Let's refresh. Cool. So I want to buy 5 jogging shorts order. Cool. I've redirected. And it says I added a new order. So everything's good. Cool. Let's check our products. Orders. If I order another one. So we're not actually changing the quantity of our product, right? So we need to go and do that. So else, I'm going to create this order. And then I need to do what?
Decrement it.
Yes, my product, which is the product that I've currently pulled, dot quantity minus equals quantity. Cool. And then down here again, I save changes. Cool. So let's check that out. I'm going to refresh. All right, orders. Let's say Dylan wants to buy 2 very cool hats. Wait, how many hats did we have?
47.
47? So we should have
45.
45. Perfect. So now our quantities are correctly decrementing. Let's see if Dylan tries to order, or Michael Choi tries to order 50 hats. Order. We didn't save it, but we're not displaying our error message. That's the problem. So we didn't create the order because it hit our validation and we set our session and we've set that to our view bag, but we're not telling our That's where it should go. Form here. P at viewbag dot error. Cool. There it is. There are only 45 left. How many jogging shorts are there? If I try to order 42 jogging shorts, there are only 40 left. If Chris tries to buy a jogging short, it should have processed. Added new order. Cool. So our orders are creating perfectly fine. Our validations are working. When we order, our products quantities are decreasing. Everything's working fine. Literally, the last thing we have left to do is just display all the orders in this nice table, right? So in this table, we need to display the customer's name, the product's name, the quantity of the order, and also the date in which the order was placed, right? Do we have the customer's name or the product's name in our order object? What do we have in our order object? IDs, the foreign keys. So this is where we actually need to essentially join using, what's the method called? Include. Yes, the include method. Perfect. You guys know all of this. So in my index route, right, this is where I load the page. I need to retrieve all the orders, right? Cool. So I'm going to put this in a one-liner just so it's a little bit cleaner. Cool. So this view bag gets all my users for my form. This view bag gets all my products for my form. This if else sets my view bag for my errors. So I need one more view bag. Dot all orders equals what? This is going to be the query of the day. Context, we always start here. Dot orders. So we first need to pull from my orders table. Orders. Dot include. I don't know. Yes, but let's see why. Here, let's take a look at this. It's all right here. So for all my users, right, my dot include, again, is going to loop through every single user, right? And into user dot post ID, it's going to place the actual post. Does that make sense? That's all. That's everything that happens behind the scenes with the dot include method. Most of us have only taken Python in here so far. So yeah, it basically takes the ID that it finds and puts into user.posts or user. Or this field right here. So order.user or order.product. Into those fields, it places the actual object that it finds using the user ID. So dot include what? So order for every order.
We look for order ID.
Order dot
User ID.
user. Cool. Dot to list.
Why are we putting user ID?
That's what's happening behind the scene in include. It's saying map or find the user with the user ID that you have in this order column, and then place what you get back in the user column. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, it's joining that. Okay.
And
Cool.
it knows that there's a user because of the model,
Yes.
and it is able to identify the user because the user ID is literally called user ID.
Yes. Exactly.
So if it
ID
calls
summons.
something else, then it will be a problem. No, right?
I think you
as
might
long
need
as
to do something like with like an
primary-
as statement or something like that to make sure that it's finding the right thing.
So it's looking for a primary key, right? So primary key, and join.
a foreign key
Yeah,
to a primary key.
foreign
Yes.
key and join.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
it's.
Yeah. So as far as we have now, what did our orders table look like before this?
Before this.
If this was our query,
We have order ID.
we could do
Or user ID.
var order for each order in all orders. Then we could do order dot what? We could do order dot user ID. We could do order dot product ID or order dot order ID to see its own ID, right? That's all we could do. But with this, now we can do order dot user, which will place the entire user there, and then we can do order dot user dot name. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a
So it's
object.
getting access to the user model.
Not just access, we're getting the entire object and just stitching it right into, or yes, linking it right onto it. Yeah.
So all the things that has users in it.
Yes.
will join.
And then we can change this include also, because we don't just need the user, we also need the product, right? So we can do product. See? So context.orders.include all my users,
Orders,
dot
user
include
data.
all my products, and then make it into a nice list so you can iterate through it. Cool?
So you can change whatever how many you want to add.
Yeah, totally. There's includes, and then there's also something called then include, which is
So
exactly once you've queried from order.user, then you can dot include something from a foreign key of user, which is pretty useful if you have more complicated queries. Yeah,
Case reverse.
exactly. Yeah. In this case, we don't need a then include. We don't need this order of operations. We just want to stitch all of these things together. Cool. So let's see viewbag.allOrders. Index here. I'm going to create a table. T head, T row, T H. Sorry, T H. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? And what are the columns that I needed? Customer name, product, quantity, date. Customer name, product, quantity, and dates. All right, perfect. Now, in my T body, I will have a loop that says for each order in all orders. Is that what I called it? All orders. Viewbag, again, I almost made the same mistake. Viewbag dot all orders. We're going to do what? We have a table row and a TD that says order dot user dot
customer
name.
username.
Yep. Order dot product
Name.
dot name.
Will we need the at in front of it or no?
I
Just
believe we will.
order.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We'll also need a order dot quantity, right? And an order dot created at. Yes, thank you. Cool. All right. I think this is it. After this, actually, I don't think there is anything after this. We're done.
Do we have black belts for sitting on this?
Not quite. Sorry. Oh no.
Maybe it's not at. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
An error occurred during the compilation review
Order cannot be
for
found.
each order.
Order cannot be found.
Yeah, 'cause at is for
Namespace.
razor, but for each already has the name order.
Namespace is
Teed up.
missing.
Hmm?
This is name-
So we haven't played with the namespace. I think we just need to remove the at symbol. I think at is for when we're inserting stuff from razor.
I don't think so.
backend.
I think we need this.
You need that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need that.
let's solve something.
You need
We need him. Yeah.
It's solved it because it cannot.
because in
Not
the
looking for it.
Huh?
you need
Yeah, namespace somewhere on the top.
Of my index page? And no, I definitely don't need that.
Model, is that
View
model
bag.
exists there?
Madam, you need
Oh, I think you know what it is. Is it just because
what you setting?
of this?
Looking for model.
Sure. No.
Looking for model. Because you are only passing one model, right?
In the top, you
On
need
the top one.
Here?
No, there is on the top. There is one lane is missing.
Or the
You know, add model, and then you include that model on the view page.
Are you talking about my controller?
No, on the HTML page.
Here?
Yes, on the top. There is one line is missing.
Up here?
Up here. There is one more line that needs to be added. Add
Model.
model. Add model. Space.
Oh, that's if I'm model binding to my view page, which I'm not. I don't need that.
You're not doing model.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we're not doing validations.
Am I missing something here?
Just add madam.
Oh, he says, no, he
Should we
doesn't
have
do that.
look at the error message again?
Yeah.
We are doing model. So it's the last one. It says created ad could not be found.
Oh, are you
Created
serious? Order. Yeah, I have created at. Created at. Oh, I don't. Wait. When I save my orders, I'm not doing a created at. Now. Which means that we may need to delete.
Do you need parentheses on both sides
Hmm?
for the now?
No.
So we'll need new orders. Oh, we'll need to flush the table.
We'll need to flush the table.
Sounds fun.
How do you flush the table? Hold on. I'm just going to say, where is my... So I'm going to say at if t d nothing.
Or not equal to null, then do it.
Yeah. Hopefully this works. No. Order does
Order
not
does not exist
exist.
in the current context. The name order.
Missing
Get your context.
Hmm?
Order does not exist in the current context.
What's happening?
at the model or
For each, is it for each, right?
For each order. It says order does not exist.
It's here for each, right?
Hmm?
the view bag, you need that add in front of it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did that.
Am I doing something weird here? Not at view bag. Dot. order. Oh my god.
Yes, that's what I thought. Sorry.
Oh my god, it was just freaking var. Don't forget your vars.
And I don't think you need.
Don't
the
forget your
at
data
front-
types. Huh?
And I don't think you need the
Here?
at in front of you back.
Okay, I don't think so either.
Because you didn't have it in another one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, good. Sorry about that delay. Table, table bordered. Cool. Excellent. All right. This is weird. I was not expecting that.
Wait, yeah, what's the deal? I thought we did if not there, then nothing.
I don't think it's ever not nothing though.
Because it's
Yeah,
example.
they exist, but they just get set to like a standard, like January 1st, 01, midnight. Yeah, but anyways, that's something else that we can talk about. But cool. Basically, that's all. Any questions at this point?
Any link and or entity methods that you would advise us to shore up on?
Dot include for sure. Dot wheres and dot singular defaults. You're gonna want to list everything that comes back in the form of an IEnumerable. Yeah.
It's a vague concept in my head, but I think it'd be cool to hear your definition of an IEnumerable.
Anything that can be iterated over. That's literally what it means. Yeah.
Cool.
Anything that can be iterated over. So that's a list. That's an array. It's
Struck.
yeah. I don't know what other
Struck.
whatever other things are iterated over.
So
It's what do you call it when it's like a not a class inheritance?
interface.
An interface. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so it conforms to the type of IEnumerable.
Yes.
Right on.
Oops. Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.